As Nebraska football coach Scott Frost walks off with his wife and son, he gets to celebrate an easy victory. For once, Nebraska rolls an opponent 52-7 over Fordham. This game was close for about a quarter and a half, but Nebraska opened it up late in the second quarter. You know that part of the game, late in the second quarter, early in the third quarter, where Nebraska has always seemed to struggle? Not today. Nebraska turned a 10-7 lead into a 24-7 halftime lead, and they extended it quickly in the third quarter. How'd they do it? Well, first, Markel Dismuke blocked a punt. That was a good thing. And then Nebraska was able to run it down Fordham's throat for the first time of the day with Marquis Stepp. They got down there. Adrian Martinez runs it in to give Nebraska a 17-7 lead. Then Nebraska gets an interception late in the second quarter from Deontay Williams. Adrian Martinez turns that into 30 and 23-yard passes to Samori Toure, and Nebraska is able to score quickly at the end of the second quarter to get a 24-7 lead going into halftime. That really helped. Nebraska's black shirts struggled a little bit early. There was a little bit of shakiness, but after they adjusted to Fordham's offense, which had a nice diet of inside runs and slant throws, they were dominant in the second half. Fordham ended up with 292 yards, but they got most of that in the first half, and they were completely shut down in the second half. Meanwhile, Nebraska's running game finally got untracked. They ran for 329 yards, a lot of that in the second half. We saw just about everybody you could see on Nebraska's bench by the end of the game, including backup quarterback Logan Smothers. He's the number 2 guy, and outside of a fumble where he was trying to spin and the ball was jarred loose, he looked pretty good. He led 2 touchdown drives. He threw it a little bit. He threw some nice throws, but he was able to put 2 touchdowns on the board for the Huskers late. Adrian Martinez had one of his better days, did a nice job of manipulating the pocket. He stayed in the pocket, he looked for guys downfield, and Samori Toure, who had 8 grabs for 133 yards, was the player who really showed up late in this one. Toure had a very, very nice day, also scored on a triple option pitch. Nebraska ran that triple option play quite a bit today. They attacked the edges of the field, and then late in the game when Fordham's defensive line kind of wore down, then they started attacking that middle. We saw just about every running back Nebraska has today. Let's see. We saw Gabe Ervin, Marquis Stepp, Ramir Johnson, Sevion Morrison, Jaquez Yant, and Marvin Scott. We saw them all. And I'll tell you, Stepp probably looked the best of the bunch. He went over 100 yards, and he may have earned the starting job going forward. Ervin struggled a little bit early. Stepp looked a little bit more confident. I thought Sevion Morrison did some nice things late, too. Nebraska wins this one, kind of going away, 52-7. Next week, they get a much better Buffalo team. Buffalo blew out its FCS opponent, Wagner, 69-7 on Thursday night. Buffalo's got a really good defensive line. They got a pretty good offensive line, too. Nebraska will be way more tested in that game than they were here today, but they got to feel good about how this thing turned out. At the end of the day, Nebraska needed to blow out an opponent just to feel good for itself, and the team that they scheduled back in the spring was able to deliver that blowout for them. Huskers 52, Fordham 7. Thanks, Husker fans. This is Sam McKewon with the Omaha World-Herald, omaha.com, and HuskerExtra.com.